Touring Car Championship 1988 was Rouse against Soper. Whether it was Brand, Silverstone, Thruxton or here at Donington, the battles were epic, with Rouse emerging victorious, but not as champion. That title went to Frank Sittner and the ProDrive team, beaten only once in the BMW in Class B. 1989 in the SO British Touring Car Championship promises to be the best ever, and nervous fingers hit the starter buttons. Alton Park, round one. Especially tense, Andy Rouse, the great engineer driver. Despite confidently placing his Ford Sierra RS 500 on pole position, he knows that behind him, no Steve Soper, but a packed Class A entry, this season better prepared to present a really strong challenge. There's Rob Gravitt alongside him, with an engine prepared by the Australian touring car master Dick Johnson. There's Chris Hodgetts, the former champion, on road 2, who showed he was close to matching Rouse's pace at the end of last season. There's big money backing and a Rouse-prepared car for the experienced Tim Harvey. And heading Class B, Britain's James Weaver, a proven race winner on both sides of the Atlantic. In all, 32 starters, but the spectacle and the glory this season is in Class A. No less than 17 Ford Sierras, but does anyone have a car to match Rouse, who qualified almost a second and a half quicker than Rob Gravitt? Further down the grid, Mike Smith, making his return to racing, is on the 6th row. James Weaver in the BMW on the 7th row, ahead of Frank Sittner. The target for Rouse, realistically, Class A success, because remember, a win in any of the lower, less competitive classes carries an equal number of overall championship points.
There's one or two fairly weak classes there where one particular driver is going to have a fairly easy time, pick up easy points, whereas I'm going to have to work very hard to gain those points. So we're not too optimistic about the championship, but we are optimistic about a really good season's racing.
Rob Gravitt alongside Rouse is part of the new Trackstar team, which he's set up with Mike Smith. Mike just happy to be back for his first race since his helicopter crash, but what kind of physical problem will he face?
Stamina is the problem. I've not had any chance to do any aerobic exercise, which I'm told I should have done. But you can't, you know, if your ankle won't move, you can't do it. It's going to take until early summer. I'm walking without a limp. And I'm gradually getting back into things, 2 hours physiotherapy a day. I'll be fit, I'll be fine, you know, my head's in the right place.
Before we join Murray Walker, a word about the other change for the new season. It's a rolling start, the field building up pace for an explosion of power across the start line. For the champion Frank Sittner in the body of the pack, that's not a great prospect.
I must say, I question whether it's a good idea here at Alton Park, because Old Hall comes up very quickly indeed. Instead of arriving at Old Hall at about 60 or 70 miles an hour, we'll be arriving at Old Hall at about 120 miles an hour. So we'll see what happens. I don't know, reserve judgment.
Well, we soon will see, because now they're on their way to the first rolling start of the SO British Touring Car Championship. Over the line, away they go into Old Hall corner, and it's Andy Rouse leading, Gravitt in second position, Chris Hodgetts and Harvey is in 4th place. Now we're in car with Mike Smith in the Ford Sierra Cosmo, straight into the back of Graham Good's Sierra. That's a real thump, and that's the rear bumper missing off Good's car as 2 string through ahead of Mike Smith. Onto Cascades, the left-hander. Up towards Lakeside and onto the hairpin at Shell, and at Shell, second gear, 50 miles an hour they go into that. Rouse is leading, Hodgetts is in 3rd position, Gravitt is sandwiched in between them. Out of Shell, Tim Harvey is in 4th place, Guy Edwards is in 5th, there is Newman in 6th position, and Graham Good is already retiring from the first race of the year. So, Clay Hill now, 5th gear, 130 miles an hour, Rouse, Gravitt, Hodgetts, Harvey, there's very little in it. Up towards Druids, a very tight right-hander, 3rd gear, 80 miles an hour. There's Rouse, Gravitt, Hodgetts, and Harvey in the blue Sierra is starting to close on Chris Hodgetts in the red one. On to Lodge. 2nd gear, 60 miles an hour. 2,000 horsepower from the first 4 Ford Sierra Cosmos. Into D Elite, 4th gear, 120 miles an hour. Rouse, Gravitt, Hodgetts, Harvey. And at the end of the lap, they're doing 135 miles an hour into Old Hall. There's Harvey. Down to Cascades. Gravitt in second place, Hodgetts in third position, Harvey still holding fourth place.